like review process that needs to happen there because you're letting so many people in.
Now, here's where the rubber meets the road, is when they announce semifinal dates. Now, typically, semifinals have been from the middle of May onward into early June. Last couple years, and this is where we touch into Lauren's iceberg of the online judging timeline.
So May 7th, let's just say May 17th would be 17th or the 24th.
Yeah,
we'll go 24th and be generous.
Yeah, 24th. Right? 3 weeks of semifinals is what they've done. That's 5 weeks between the end of individual quarterfinals, and the start of semifinals, and 6 weeks from the end of team quarterfinals to the start of semifinals.
But it's only like a month for age groupers.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's online, thankfully.
Yeah. But you're letting more people in.
Yeah.
It was because last year it was what, 330? It was like 30 people.
Yeah.
That made it to semifinals.
You're talking about age groups, correct?
About age groups. Now it's what, 200?
200.
So you've taken, and last year the time frame between quarterfinals and semifinals for individuals was about what, 2 months?
So here's what I wrote down. The distance between quarterfinals and semifinals last year was 8 weeks for individuals, 6 weeks for teams last year.
Okay, but individuals is 8 weeks. So now we've chopped
it in half.
Almost in half. So the problem is, it's like, how do you review
and I don't know,
more
because
videos
last year
in
they
half the time?
I forget who we spoke with. And again, now I'm forgetting if this was like an off-the-record conversation or an actual interview. But the stress that the staff looking at the video review, I mean, think about the time that it was taking them. And it was and now we're cutting that in half and
you're
expecting
increasing
to review
the amount of videos by who knows what. I mean, because not everybody who goes to quarterfinals is going to submit videos. Right? Yeah. Not everybody is.
Sure.
But you're going to have a lot.
You're increasing the videos for age groups.
Age groups by a ton.
You're reducing the videos for individuals by 20. There's 20 fewer.
But that doesn't make up for the increase in the age groups that you have to do at the same time.
And it doesn't fully account for the entire month that you've cut off the video.
And we're not even getting into the teams yet. Like the amount of work that needs to be done here, and the amount of time that they're giving them, and the amount of people that they have doing it, unless they're all of a sudden going to hire an army of people to take care of this, which I'm guessing that's not even.
Can I ask a crazy question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Is there any way that they can leverage AI to help with the review process?
I mean, I wouldn't even know how to answer.
And again, then we're thinking of the legitimacy of how good is AI, knowing what a rep is and not. But I'm just thinking of like, what's a way to expedite and streamline the process that makes sure the right people advance to the next stage?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't see logistically how that team can review every single video that they receive of every workout in that time frame. I just don't I think that's nearly impossible.
And you can't push semifinals back that far because you need the admin time on the back end for drug testing, jerseys, invites, appeals. Like we hear about drug testing coming in, late, and people getting last minute backfill invites from semifinals like weeks.
A week before the games.
Yeah, and the games are, I think, technically about a week later, but still you need that time. And if you want athletes to be able to, properly prepare for the big spectacle in the showcase, you're going to need that gap to wind down from semifinals and build back up. And that is quarterfinals judging is the most hotly contested aspect of the season every single year, and rightfully so. And it is also the biggest stressor internally for CrossFit's team.
Yes.
And this just seems to amplify it. Now, I don't think the 25% increase in force qualifying for quarterfinals for individuals and teams necessarily makes a difference as much, because you're still only you still only have to validate so far down the leaderboard.
Yes, I would. And look, a lot of people. I mean, just speaking for me, if I made it that far, I'm not doing videos. So I should not I won't be eligible to go, and that's fine. So I think it's safe to assume that not everybody who participates will be sending videos.
There's going to have to be, I think, a much harder line drawn for a lot of that stuff.
Well,
if you don't submit a video from the outset, like
done. Yeah, like they've got it's to your point of it's not the more people that matters, it's the amount of spots that are now available at semifinals, especially for North America and Europe. Like you've cut 20 spots. You've got to find a way to get this right, because I just see this as there is a giant iceberg out there, and it's this what we're talking about. And I don't know what the explanation or not the explanation. I don't know how they avoid it. I don't know what the plan is, but that is coming.
My suggestion, because if I'm going to do quarterfinals. Mm-hmm. Just because I don't add videos, I don't want to then not have a score, because I do still want to see how I ranked. Yeah. At this point in the stage, they should give you, kind of as we've spoken before, and this is not my idea, I forget whose idea this is. Now it goes to 2 leaderboards. People who just want to do quarterfinals for fun and not submit a video, here's where you're going to submit them, knowing that, of course, there's people who might not do it 100% correctly, but then if you have a serious chance of going to semifinals, you have to submit every single video, and you are going to be on a separate leaderboard.
Yeah. Along those lines, here's what I would do, because I've seen some comments here. People like Joe is talking about it. I think Brad's talking about it too. Really great points. Good discussion going on about people like wanting to participate in quarterfinals. I think in order to encourage that, and Tommy and I kind of disagree on this, and I get his point, but I would like to see like an elite division. So if you make it to quarterfinals, you select it. Am I going to go elite or am I going RX? And if you're going elite,
okay, that's basically
right. That's what you're saying. Like 2 separate,
right.
If you choose elite, this is the programming. You're going to get the absolute hardest programming. You're going to be expected to submit 5 videos or 6 or whatever it is. You have to do it with a certified judge. You have to do it at an affiliate or whatever. Those are the rules. If you want to do the RX division, the programming is maybe taken down a notch, so that you don't run into the I can't hit a 185-pound snatch at the outset, so why am I even going to sign up for that? Like
this is where we part ways, Sean.
No, and that's fine. I get it. But like for me, I like another stage of competition. If I can be against people of my ability, give me that leaderboard. I'll pay for that.
Yeah, I
like doing the same workout as the elite.
Yes, because you can. But for everybody else who
not all the time.
Okay, well, then what do you do when you just sit there and just not do it?
Yeah, and then I either get to the point where I can't do it anymore, and then I build, I'll typically build something off to the side that doesn't matter for anyone but myself, like a different version, and I submit that other score, right? Because that's ultimately the proof in the pudding that I had the whole, and then there's no one saying you can't go do that adjusted version off to the side.
Yeah, but but if you're not going to have like a separate leaderboard, I don't know. I just think I'm looking at this from how do we get more people involved?
I'm okay with the separate leaderboard. I'm not okay with separate programming.
Okay.
Because
that's the camp I'm in.
Because I also think that just like these are great in theory, but like, do we believe that CrossFit has the internal like bandwidth to do this?
They do RX and scaled versions of open workouts.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they?
Right, but the whole point of qualifying for the next stage is that, hey, we're about to make this harder. Not we're about to just make this.
I'm not saying it's got to be easy. It's going to be harder, but I'm just saying, couldn't you just ratchet it down just a notch so people are like, oh, I know I can't get to this point, but at least I can get maybe a quarter way or halfway through this thing.
Mm-hmm. But isn't that like the carrot that people have? Like, oh my God, I couldn't hit this 135 snatch this year. That was the opener. I'm going to train the next year to make sure that I can not just hit it, but hit it for reps.
Yeah, I agree. That's fine. That's a big driver for a lot of people, right? Like, people were complaining that the jump from 75 pounds to 135 pounds on the snatch for men for, 21.2? Or sorry, 12.2? Jesus. There's way too many years in between
Dyslexia,
that. 12.2. And a lot of people just stared at the 135-pound snatches, and then even going up to 165 or same scenario. And that drove them and that guided their training next. Because again, this also comes back to like, you're being tested.
Yeah.
Right?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think probably the